Once more and again, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming in and just rolling and flowing with me this morning. So, welcome to another day of Institute for Higher Consciousness, where we're wrapping up chapter 2 of Hidden Messages in Water. Hidden Messages in Water. This is an open session, so our Twitch participants are able to come into this class session as an open session. So, today, I really want to hone in and focus on a particular area. I'm gonna let my phone quit dinging and all of that, sending out notifications. I want us to deal with the last two slides, and this is going to be our recap for chapter 2. The last two slides of the Hidden Messages of Water. The Hidden Messages of Water is the text that we're studying from. I wanted to pick these two because definitely anytime you start moving and flowing, and the flow is really about love. You know, we can say God, but even at the end of the day, from my tradition, God is love. There is a passage that says God is love. It's not that God loves, God is love. So when you identify if it's really love, if it's true love, if it's genuine love, it's God. And anything outside of that realm is not God, just simply put. Now, I want to come here because the question, and we're talking about resonance at octaves. What we built up to here was where we talked about do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, those 7 different notes that are able to expand and go into where you are on the spectrum. Each of those notes, excuse me, being in harmony, or those notes being in dissonance. Good morning, Kim Possible 711. Welcome to our open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. It's good to see you, Pastor. So when we start talking about love, and I tell you all the time, my goal in life is to operate at the highest degree of love. To operate at the highest degree of love. With that, I'm constantly checking and tweaking myself. I don't spend all my energy and time trying to look and stare and have so much energy concentrated on trying to figure out this, that, and the other. But I do definitely, especially at the beginning of my day, I wake up and state my intentions. At the beginning of the day, I wake up and state my intentions. At the end of the day, I look back and reflect. That's part of my closing down the house. We talked about that in Yes You O Cubed on yesterday. Part of my closing down the house is to reflect back the intentions that I stated for today. Where am I on having accomplished that? Because I contend if you really want to make forward movement, and progress, and we can say boss energy, boss energy, boss energy all day long. Good morning, SK8843. It's good to see you, Sister Sojourner. Mad love to you. We can say boss energy, boss energy, boss energy all day long and make absolutely positively no progress. I've seen it from the church realm. I've seen it, or let me just open it up and say the religious realm, because there are many different faith traditions out there. And I've seen where people will want to make progress, and you come back 5 years later, they're still basically in the same spot with no forward momentum. But I say, you know, you've got to set goals. They have to be attainable goals, and you need to assess and make sense of where you're at in achieving that goal. Good morning, Bronx Harlem Girl. Good morning, The Rebel Inc. Now, this is our open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So as I said, it's like when I was talking on yesterday and we were talking about good sleep hygiene. This is a part of our hygiene as well. And I like the fact that Psycore Fit used that terminology, good sleep hygiene. So again, that idea, opening up the house in the morning, getting as much sunlight as you can. And when you take that over to equivalent from the natural to the spiritual realm. You know, you open up the sunlight, you have that communion. And I'm going to encourage you all, because listen, while we are transitioning into our place of destiny and boss energy, please believe me when I tell you all kinds of other energies are going to start coming at you. I'm sure if I took a poll, most of you in here right now that are listening to me could attest to the fact all kinds of other energies are coming at you. So before you get out there and start your day, connect. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Connect to the ground and get grounded. Even as we said on yesterday, your best source of blue light, healthy blue light, is the sun. Find whatever way you're going to connect to the sunlight. Find whatever way you're going to connect to those rays and just soak them up into your body. Soak it up into your energy. Soak it up into your mind. Soak it up into your thoughts before you jump out and just get to going. Because I'm telling you, as we are transitioning into this new space, as we're transitioning into our best selves and our best lives, there's still going to be other energy that's coming at you. So be sure, be very sure to connect to the ground and get grounded before you jump out and start moving about. And again, so first natural, then the spiritual. I go through the house and open up all the blinds. And I'm going to tell you what, I just started my process of my good sleep hygiene as well. I'm going to tell you what, last night, I think I've slept better than I've slept since I cannot remember. And that's the truth. And my intention to make a definite change to bring myself into the self-care and the wholeness that I need to be able to operate at my optimum. That was my goal yesterday, to move myself into the place of self-care that I need for myself to operate at my optimum. So I started, again, these regimens for myself, even getting up first thing in the morning. I started opening up the blinds, letting the sun come in, and then doing the other things that I did during the course of the day. In the middle of that, let me tell you, God gave me a miracle. I'm not going to go through all the who shot John on what my miracle was. But when I tell you God brought a miracle, and this is what I want us to understand, when you start becoming really, really intentional, and in this instance, it's a matter of focus on yourselves, because some of us are such givers. Some of us are such where we're always giving away. You first, put your oxygen mask on first, you first. And some way, somehow, we've almost taught that to put yourself first is not of God. To put yourself first is against what the universe wants. You got to give. Well, you got to give to yourself first. And when you give to yourself first and put yourself first, I promise you, your blessings will come. Rebel knows. She knows about my blessing. And it wasn't no little touch of blessing. It was a huge blessing, and it was a needed blessing. It was a blessing that I had not even mentioned or spoken about. But honey, when I tell you that blessing came through in a mighty way. But again, because I'm intentionally looking at myself and saying, what do I need to do to get myself in my optimum? Good morning, One Reason, the Bishop of Twitch. Come on in here. This is the open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. Joanna G., blessed morning to you and so much love to you. And Rebel is saying, yes, Lord, because she knows what I'm saying is true. So I want to encourage you with this. So I got up and I opened up my house. I got the sunshine. I did the things that I wanted to accomplish for the day. And then even as we talked about blue light, I worked over into a span of the night, but I also took my own words to heart. Crazy Berrytown, good morning to you and welcome to this morning session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. And it is our open session. Oh, come on, Kim. I'm telling you. And I took my own suggestions. I took my own and I'm applying it. I'm not just telling you all to do stuff and not doing it myself. Disco Darren, John Studios, good morning to you both. Welcome to our open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. So as I said, I took all of that for myself and then stated my intentions while I was grounding myself. I'm going to keep talking about grounding because, again, as we're moving into this new space and moving into this new place, you've got to stay grounded. You've got to stay anchored, even with the other forces that are coming at you. So From that, I went into, after I got the blessing, I went back to finishing up doing what I was doing. But once I got into the evening time, I was first partaker of the fruit in that I said, let me tone down my blue light. So again, I'm now shutting down the house. I went around, I closed physically in the house, all of the shades, all of the blinds, went through the kitchen, went through all the rooms, did this, did that, shut down the house. Because what? That's symbolizing that I'm beginning to shut myself down for the night. DJ Hot One, come on, sis. So much mad love to you and happy Saturday. You have joined us for Institute for Higher Consciousness, and welcome in. Good to have you, sis. So I shut down the house physically. I shut down my temple spiritually. So I reflected. There was a reflection about the intentions that I had stated at the very start of my day. And having accomplished everything that I had on that agenda to do, then I shut down the blue light. I shut down all of the blue light, and I took my time and I read a book. Read a powerful book. It blessed me tremendously. When I had finished with that, I laid down, and I'm telling you, that is the best sleep I have ever had. And that being said, I'm telling you, I had been through a phase where I was in sleep disruption and everything else, you know, getting up several times a night and this and that and the other, and really just not resting well and getting up unrested. I'm telling you, the things that we're expressing and sharing with you all to incorporate into your lives, it works to be able to bring you into your boss energy. And I really believe that's what brought my blessing into my life. Just that alignment. Come on, understand alignment. When I begin to get myself aligned, stuff just falls in place without even having to try to manipulate it or maneuver it or anything. It just starts falling in place when you get in alignment. So as I move on, then the thing that we talk about, and Dr. Dady is here, but she's driving, so she can't really communicate with us right now, but she is in the midst. Learning how to pivot past the discord. And the discord will come, not to focus on the discord and put all of our energy on the discord, but I want us to understand that you have a place. I see you, Bronx Harlem Girl. You said you had to see the doctor for rest because you have severe insomnia. I hear you. And even as we were talking about resetting yourself, shutting down the house, blue light, understanding the different aspects and elements and how that is or is not working in your space, in your energy. And again, as I said, I want you to anchor to the core before you start your day, before you ever start your day. Anchor your core, get grounded, let the sunlight into your temple, not just the physical, but into your temple. Let the sunlight in, whatever that method is for you, however you go about it. The same way we talk about the best time for blue light is first thing in the morning and soak up those rays. Do that same thing with your temple. Open yourselves up and just get all the rays and sunlight that you can. Now, ultimately, one journey, make it count. Good morning to you. And again, welcome to this open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. Now, with that being said, the ultimate that we're striving for, and I say this about myself to go back and restate my initial statement. My goal every day of my life is to operate in the highest degree of love. My goal every day is to operate in the highest degree of love. So, and that's my goal. You may have something else, but that's my goal. I want to resonate. I want everything about my life to be about that love. And I do, at the end of the day, go back. And that's why I'm telling you, like a lot of things that I will cut out. Nobody has to tell me not to gossip about people. Nobody has to tell me, because my goal is to operate at the highest degree of love. So when I make my assessments and when I go back at the night and I'm closing down my temple, I look at the things that I've done during the day. I look at the people that I've talked to during the day. I look at the ways that I've interacted with people during the day. And I make a mental note of where can I do better? Where did I miss it? and so on and so forth. And what did I do right? I don't want to automatically go to all the negatives, but there are places where I'm like, yes, and yes again. That was good. That was good. And that was good. Stay on that path. Stay on that track. So that's my personal goal, is the highest degree of love. As we talked about at the end of chapter 2, and we're kind of recapitulating the conversation that we've had over chapter 2. We're just going to go over those last 2 slides and get up out of here for this morning. But this part right here, as we talked about do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, those 7 notes, and 7 being the number of perfection. Where do I find my song? Where do I sing my song? How do I sing my song of life? And then how do I learn, as Dr. Dady says, to pivot past the discord? So when we get to the last part, and let me see, it looks like, okay, there it is. I was going to make sure those of you in Twitch were able to see the slide. Resonance at octaves. Resonance at octaves. Now, again, we're talking in a way, we're using the analogy of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. And we understand that every 8 notes, there's a new octave. It's almost like every 8th day is a new week. So newness, 8 is always the number of new beginnings. You'll hear people say that 8 is the number of new beginnings. 7 is the number of completion and totality. So as we look at the resonance at octaves, resonance can result even when frequencies are not identical. Because remember, a frequency is doubled at la. When you do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, those 7 notes make your song. But when you get to a la again at that 8th level, that is a different frequency, but it's the same note. And this is where we come into a place of understanding when we deal with people in the world, how and deal with our lives, how we can begin to understand and have the ability, if you will, to resonate even when people are not at your identical frequency. Because remember, every time you double that frequency, you go into another octave. You double that frequency, you go into another octave. And again, I'm going to use that idea. When you're down in those lower octaves, you'll hear lower octaves used in music when a lot of times they want to make a horror movie, and they'll go down into that lower octave range, and it builds that sense of, oh my God, something's getting ready to happen. And the higher you come up the frequency, the higher you come up in octaves, the more you get into that mid-range is usually where we tend to hear most of the music that we listen to. And then the highs have their highs and the purpose in which they use it for in the suspense. One reason that low frequency builds that suspense. But at the end of the day, you're not trying to live in that suspense state all the time. And that's what wears people down. Can I say that? When your life is always in that suspense, and I'm going to state it as waiting for the shoe to drop. When you're constantly in that suspense level in the lower octaves, it will wear you down. It will get you tired. It will frustrate you after a period of time. It has to raise the frequency, and it has to come up out of that lower range. So when we look at that, we look and we say, okay, that's not the frequency that I'm looking to live the entirety of my life. It may go there for a hot second, but then we're coming back out and we're coming into a normal mid-range, and we're going to live life right here. So that resonance, however, you can still have where it's not dissonant. Dissonant is that where it's almost like, you have almost a sense of like, it's like nails on a chalkboard, dissonance. But dissonance has a purpose, and a lot of times if you hold it there and you stay there and do not move from dissonance, it will almost take you over the edge. But usually dissonance resolves into resonance. So we understand that when we double that frequency, I don't have to be identical to you. You don't have to be identical to me, but we can still resonate together. The principle of this relationship extends into infinity, no matter how distant the frequencies are. Because what did I say? Every time you double it, every eighth note, you're going to go to another frequency. And then you're going to go another 8 notes. You're going into another frequency. You're going to go into another note. You're going to go into another frequency. So you have that constant state of all the way into infinity. There's no stop to that, where you can have this principle of resonance in your relationships and flow. It's a lot of people that have been living in the suspense zone since the pandemic. And that is very true. And it creates a different kind of energy. It creates a different level of living, and it becomes very taxing. It becomes very burdensome. The same way it starts to wear on your ears, it's the same way with life. The life and the song that you're singing becomes very heavy. If any of you understand what I'm talking about as far as pivoting past the discord, as we're moving into this new place in this new season, there are also things that are becoming and coming at you energy wise that can be very heavy. You've got to figure out and learn how. That's why I'm saying ground yourself at the beginning of the day. Get grounded at the beginning of the day so that the song doesn't get so muddy and heavy that you just almost can't stand the sound of it. And when you get to the point where you can't stand the sound of life, that's where depression comes. When you get to the point where you can't stand the sound of life, that's where suicidal tendencies or depression that you can't come out of. You've heard this song, and you've heard this song in this lower frequency and this lower range for so long, it has just worn you down. And you live when this is the place where, again, waiting for the shoe to drop, and you can never seem to come out of that. That part right there is where it gets really heavy, Disco Darren. And thank you for that. Some people have been there ever since the pandemic. Now, not to move past the We Groove Radio. Welcome to this session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. Glad to have you. And let's be real, Disco Darren. There were some people, not all, but there were some people who lost whole entire families. You know, I had a lot of grief during that season. It was not because of COVID. It was just a lot of grief that was going on during that period. But there are some people from COVID who, if you stop and think about it, they lost their whole entire families. So you can understand how they're in those lower frequencies. You can understand how they are possibly stuck in a place where, and I'm not saying that with regard to the grief and the grieving process, but just that inability to find a place of grounding that can help you to make it through. And even, let me say this, the resonance of love that has support, that has other people that may be operating at a higher frequency. I remember the song and the saying back in the day, he ain't heavy, he's my brother. There are a lot of people that have not found themselves in a place where they have somebody standing with them, that when I'm at my weakest point, I've got somebody to undergird me and support me to help me through this journey, even the journey of grief. And I'm saying even to that, we need to be able to find resonance at octaves and be able to resonate with others, be able to resonate within ourselves, be able to resonate with anchoring ourselves and grounding ourselves so that we do not become just completely overwhelmed and overwashed with more than we can bear. So here we have this opportunity. Kelly Vision, come on in here. Welcome to this edition, this open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. We've got to learn how to move and extend those frequencies higher. We've got to learn how to extend ourselves and our energies above and beyond to, as Dr. Dady says, being able to pivot past the discord. Now, as long as one is multiple of the other, this will always stand true all the way into infinity. And I love this about when I talk about energy, when I talk about frequencies, I say if you're really moving into that place of wholesomeness and health and healthiness, you will deal in multiplication and addition versus subtraction and division. Okay. And I say that's a quick way to tell what kind of energy am I dealing in? What kind of energies am I dealing with? I want to come into a place where I am in a frequency and in an energy that's dealing at a place of multiplication and addition versus always being in an energy that's in division and subtraction. So as long as we're dealing in those multiples of one another, it will always stand true to infinity. T. Summers, good morning and happy Saturday to you. And welcome to today's open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. Kim Possible, I've been in that place for the last 11 weeks. Just when we got excited about beginning something new, I then became a caregiver plus a gig. I have not been able to focus on grounding me. Come on, Kim. And sending you all kind of love, sending you all kind of positive energy, sending you all kinds of support because I understand that place. I hear where you're at. And at the end of the day, even though I have not walked your specific journey, I get it. So this is, and even coming in here, and like you said, after 11 weeks and then becoming a new caregiver and a gig, yes, I get it. Grounding can be a challenge. And I tell people all the time, and this goes back to one of our earlier sessions of Institute for Higher Consciousness, how to get grounded. And we talk about the elements. We understand the elements of fire and water, wind. And as we come into a place and begin to identify where and how, we encourage, when you talk about grounding, ashes to ashes, earth to earth, dust to dust. And we say, we mostly hear that term, those words when we earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, when we're in a situation of death. What we say in the Institute for Higher Consciousness, come to that earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust reality in life so that you can live. How do you anchor back to the ground? How do you get stabilized in your core? How do you get with your spirituality? And spirituality is not to be confused with religion. Spirituality is that direct connection that you have with God. Come on, earth. Come on, earth. One reason. Come on. And so that grounding is so important. And that's why I encouraged us even at the beginning of this session. Make sure that you get grounded at the start of your day. Try to do the best you can. Take time for you, Kim, and you're such a caregiver to everybody. And even the new gig, as you called it, that has come into place for you. Even that is a matter of coming to a place where you have giving. And I want you to, even in that, give yourself receiving from yourself and others. Flip the script and position yourself so that you can begin to receive, because there has to be a balance. And this is for everybody in here, that you are givers and you're constantly giving. I want you to find some means, some way to anchor and ground yourselves with receiving to balance that thing out, because the scales can become grossly imbalanced and you can really get in a place where you're empty. And I'm just going to say it that way. There are a lot of ways I could say it, but you're empty because you've given so much away to everybody else, and it's not being replenished and it's not being replaced. So this is where I'm saying, Keisha Key, good morning to you. Come on in here, sis. There's my one. There's my only. Kelly Vision, it's good to see you as well. Now, this is where the balance is a real struggle, Michelle. That balance is a real struggle, no doubt. It is a real struggle. And that's why, once more and again, like I said, even in the analogy, the same way I open up my house in the morning and I open up the blinds to let the sun shine in, that's where I want us to identify the ability to open up our whatever it is because we need that blue light. We need those rays. We need that energy. We need that in our lives. We need that because it also impacts my sleep pattern. It impacts my rhythm of the day, my circadian rhythm. It impacts my melatonin. It impacts my serotonin. It impacts so much to give me the balance that we need, that we've got to actually come into a place where we give ourselves our daily bread. You understand what I'm saying? Give us this day our daily bread. We go a whole lot of places with that. What I'm saying here, that earth, that one reason mentioned earlier, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, where we get grounded with that thing. You have a great day too, Dr. Dady Priest. So much love to you. You get grounded to that thing so that give me today my daily bread, and I'm going to eat before I move. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to eat for me. I'm going to put my oxygen mask on before I try to take care of everybody else's needs. I'm going to ground your changes to so your battery doesn't get overloaded. Come on with that one reason. I'm going to give myself, and it's okay. You know, so many times the world starts demanding before you even get a chance for you. The world starts demanding, gimme, 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 gimme. Gimme, 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 and then give me some more. And it's like at the end of the day, this is what I want you to do. And this is what I want you to understand. I can't give to you when I'm empty. I'm gonna go ahead and come on camera on this one because I just want you all to hear what I'm saying. I can't give to you when I'm empty. Let me eat first. And some of y'all, now this isn't me because I can go pretty well into the day before I need to eat, which is not a good habit. So I'm by no means applauding that, and I'm changing that too. But some of y'all know just in the natural, feed me, Seymour. If y'all don't feed me a piece of toast, a taste of bread or something, we about to have problems up in here. Now, I want you to see yourselves in that same way with your temple. So many, that's your natural demeanor and makeup. You know you have to eat. You know you that one. You know you done got hangry. You not just angry, you hangry because you hungry and angry all at the same time. You hangry. I want you to begin to approach your day with that same thought and energy that if I don't stop and feed me first, if I don't stop and give me some me time first, if I don't stop and give me what I need for my source and sustenance to be able to make it through this day, I'm about to be hangry up in here. You know, pulling from places where your cup is empty. That's it right there, DJ Hot One. So, you know, get mad if you want to. Get mad if you want to. That's not going to deter me from doing what I need to do for me. And this is a thing as well. If you love me like you say you love me, you're going to let me eat first. Do you hear what I'm saying? If you love me like you say you love me, you're going to let me eat first. And if you have an issue with me stopping and putting on the brakes to say, wait a minute, before I do any of that, I got to eat. If you get negative energy from people in your environment for doing that, then understand they do not understand how to love you and love you in a healthy way. The love that they're saying they have for you is potentially a tainted and unwhole love, because I understand that you've got to eat before you can come out here and give yourself away. So this part right here of self-care and anchoring and getting all of the sunlight and all the sun's nutrition that you need for yourself before you ever step foot outside that door, before you ever take a phone call or whatever. Excuse me, just a second. Before you do any of that, let me eat first. Let me, and then be honest. Folks, can I come here? And we're talking about resonance and octaves. Understand there may be times when your octave may be down in that lower range. And listen, y'all need me to be up in that mid-range, high range. I don't have it right now. Hear me when I say this. Y'all want me, and you're saying you need me to be in this upper range. I don't have it right now. Can I say that one more time? Because some of us, I'm gonna put my name in there. Some of us do not know how to say no, and some of us, even though we see and know that we are at our limit, we will overextend ourselves instead of, you need me at this frequency right here. You need me at this higher. Listen, I just got to tell you the truth. And givers are notorious for this, because we will overlook ourselves in a heartbeat and overextend. You need me at this frequency right here. I'm at this frequency down here. This is where I am. I can't give you what I don't have. I can't get up there. For all my singers in the room, and come on, K2 Hoop, it's good to see you this morning. Come on, that's you, Keisha Key. And this is what we're changing. This is what we're adapting. This is real talk, too, Tams. Sassy Cassie said, love is definitely an action word. So examine your actions as I examine mine. Come on with that, Sassy Cassie. So this is straining your voice, one reason. For all of my singers in here, and sometimes it can just be because you're tired. I've been there. People have known me as a high soprano. Now, even though my voice is deep and low sounding, all my life I have sang extremely high soprano. I'm that one, when you hear that real high note, at certain places in the song where that's me all day long. I'm hitting that note. People will look at me and say, hit that note. But there is a reality that there are times when I have been tired. And even though I know typically under normal circumstances that note, I don't even have to think about it. I can pierce it. I can nail it. But when I'm tired, or when my voice is strained, or when I'm fighting with my allergies and there's something going on inside of my body that the people can't see, spiritual thought leader can hit that note. But at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm not tired, I can hit that note. If I'm not fighting something that's going on in my body, I can hit that note. If the circumstances are conducive, I can kill that note. But baby, when I'm off key and I'm off kilter, and now when I say off key, y'all, I don't sing out of key. Let me just clarify that. I don't sing out of key, but I can't hit that note. Come on, Michelle. I cannot hit that note. So at the end of the day, first natural, then the spiritual. You have to identify when folks need you to resonate at that other level. I'm at my 9:40 time window, so we're here almost at the season to open up the floor to reclaim the text. But I can't hit that note today because I don't have it in me. I can't hit that note today because I don't have it in me. And I'm not going to try to strain myself, but I want to understand. I want you to understand, and I want to be honest to the reality. I need to pull back, and I need this for me right now. I need this for me. Disco Darren asked a question. No ignorance here. How do I ground myself when my day starts at 4 a.m. and I hit the ground running until 6 p.m. that night? Disco Darren, I would say, and I get it, but I'm going to say, not at this moment, Saints. SK8843, come through. Make sure you clarify. Come on, Kelly Vision. Back to Darren's question. And that is, adjust your schedule if there's any way possible to give yourself that me time. And I suggest at the beginning of the day, but if you need to do it at the end of the day, if you need to put it at the middle of the day, you've got to feed yourselves. Now, I suggest at the beginning of the day, because just like they say, breakfast is the most important meal of the day because it gives you the boost and the energy that you need to go through the rest of the day. And it actually jumpstarts the rest of your body systems, your organs, your brain, everything. I suggest at the beginning of the day, if you need to move that clock back and cut some of that time off at the end instead of running so late into the day, if you can move it around. We talk extensively about anchoring the core in the earlier sessions of Institute for Higher Consciousness. I may be able to shoot you one of those videos, but whether it's, and for me, I'm a nature person. That's how I anchor my core. Not only the sunlight, but just going out. Water is my thing. Anybody that knows me, I tell people all the time, I'm a water baby. My religion is flow. And it really, really is. My religion is flow. Anything that's flowing, especially the water, but anything that has a current, anything that, and the thing about current, CURREN2, which is a flow, it keeps you current. Currents will keep you current. Play with that for a minute. Currents will keep you current. So that's, for me, the currents in nature minister to me. They talk to me. It's a flow for me. FLOW, flow. So that's how I find my renewal. You know, and that flow is just whatever nature. When I go out to the water and I let the water just talk to me, I let the water just speak to me. I let the sparkles on the water, the wind coming off the water. I mean, there's so many things that happen when you get by the water. That's me. Find your flow, whatever your flow is. Your flow may not be my flow, but find your flow. And again, as much as you can at the beginning of your day or wherever you can put it in your day, get in your flow, Disco Darren. Get in your flow and let it just wash over you and speak. Because I'm telling you, when you get in a flow, it will talk to your spirit. It will talk to everything about you. Keisha Key, it's definitely hard, but I'm learning that. It feels weird at first because I'm used to giving when I can't give. But it feels so much better when I'm doing for me first. And I'm telling you, it will transform your life, Keisha Key. It's transformative. You got to put your oxygen mask on first. Now, I'm already at my 9:40 hour, so let me go through the rest of these real quickly because I definitely talked longer than I meant to on that, but that's okay. For every sound on each level, there is a resonating sound on every other level. Please believe that. People are attracted to Christ, Buddha, and others of high level vibration. And again, you all know that I'm interfaith. I had a sister that came in, I don't remember who it was actually on yesterday, and said, I'm a Buddhist. So listen, I don't care. It does not matter. Wherever you're flowing and wherever you're coming in at, I'm not here to try to convert you and make you go and be something else. Wherever your flow is, and my respect is 100% for wherever your flow is. Now, love and resonance. When people resonate in love, they rise to their highest level of capability. And that's what I believe. When you operate in love, you're rising to your highest level of capability. When you love, you perform at a higher, superior level. I believe that all day long. These statements right here, I live by this. Love is not limited to romantic love. And if that's the only way you identify love, I want you to go back and get a new definition of love and loving, because it's not about romance, even though it does encompass whether you're talking about phileo, where you're talking about agape, it doesn't matter. Love is not limited to just romantic eros. It's not just related to love, romantic love. Love, respecting attraction towards other people. Loving, respecting, and attraction towards other people. Love raises our frequency level. Human beings have the ability to interact with all other creatures in this world. And if we deal with all other creatures in this world from a space of love and loving, I'm telling you, we have the ability to change the world. And that's the premise that I come from, for real, even when we talk about this pride, this PRIDE, this Pride Alliance is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. Now, that being said, this is time for us to reclaim the text. For those that are new to the Institute for Higher Consciousness, this may be your first time in session. This is where I shut up and the sojourners, that's what we call our group, the sojourners in the class, this is where they come in and share. You can feel free, for those of you that are in Twitch, in the chat, only the class can actually unmute and talk. So, and those in the class are also able to text and chat as well. I'm going to shut up. You know, they had that one time, we don't play about you. Okay. That's something else going on. All right. Now, with that being said, and I can read, y'all. I'm having a little bit of problem with my eyes, so I sound like I'm a little bit slow and mildly retarded trying to, and I don't say that as a negative, but slow. I'm saying slow. Reading is because my eyes are doing a thing and I'm trying to work with that. All right, class, anyone in the Sojourners group that wants to unmute and share, this is your time. Go ahead and unmute. Let me, I'll look and see for those that come off of turn your volume on and go ahead and share. And to everybody that came into this, again, this is an open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. We appreciate you for being here this morning. Anybody from the Institute, go ahead and unmute. I'm looking to see who is going to say something, who wants to speak. Just go ahead and unmute yourselves and feel free to talk. Truck driver, I see you. Go right ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to speak on that taking care of yourself first. Well, y'all know me. I give. I give to my family. They call, I give. And I never taken out the time to give to myself or take care of myself. And as far as the blue light, I'm like spiritual thought leader. I tried that last night and shut down everything. And this morning, I said what I was going to do this morning, and I've gotten up and did just about everything that I said I was going to do. And I didn't toss and turn, everything. I just feel better. I'm not tired. I'm not groggy. So I really do appreciate what you are teaching us and turning us on to. And y'all just continue to pray for me because there's some things that I'm still dealing with. I don't always pop in or pop on or say nothing, but it's a lot that I deal with, and I shared some of it with Spiritual Thought Leader, which that is my teacher, my counselor. So I share more with her than I would do with anyone. So y'all just continue to pray for me, and I pray for y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Truck. Definitely doing that. And I'm with you. Kai Chick, so much love to you. And I know you got to go, but I love you, sis. Mad love, mad love. Oh, that's two Tams. That's got to go. So much love to you. And Kai Chick, thank you for those praying hands. Listen, Truck, and I'm telling you, it works. It worked for me. Let me put it that way. And I was really blessed as well. And I slept better last night than I can't remember when, for real. And I'm telling you, that shutting myself down and giving myself that time for shutdown, it was a winner. It was a win for me. Thank you for sharing that. You know, you my guy. Till 2 palms down and 10 toes up. Thank you. And keep taking care of yourself. Anybody else that wants to unmute, go right ahead. I see you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sassy Cassie. Go right ahead.
Yes, just saying that being in the Institute is so beneficial to my life. You know, chapter 2 was about something to the pertaining to entering new portals, and change and challenge go hand in hand. But I thank God as I'm learning here, and I thank God for the repetitiveness because I'm human and I need you to repeat yourself and take us back and to reminisce on some of the things that you've already covered. It's beneficial, but then you're also incorporating so many new and wonderful things at the same time. So it keeps me moving forward, and that's the direction I want to go. I want to be able to sing my song at my best ability. And if I don't take care of myself, it's so hard to pour from an empty cup because there's nothing to pour. but I just thank God for being in this space and with these people that are like-minded, that want to grow, that want to flow, that want to actually love to the highest degree of love. I'm thankful for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sassy. You know I love me some of you. I tell y'all all the time, y'all my poster children for boss energy, because I'm telling you what you have come through and how you have grown and developed. All of you is just absolutely amazing. I'm so glad to be a part of you, and I'm glad that you're a part of this. 2 Tams, I see. I'm going to play this real quick. Oh, it was just 1 second. I thought you were typing there, and then I had a little clip. Anybody else that wants to come on, this is what we call reclaiming the text, and this is the opportunity. And Shelly and it looks like Shelly, Michelle, y'all out there ministering to the peoples out there in Twitch, and I appreciate you. I just kind of looked up and glanced and saw that, but honey, these babies right here, I told you, they just nobody like them. Y'all do your work, do your good work, Rebel. I see y'all out there talking. All right. right. And I didn't follow the conversation. I don't know, exactly what you all are sharing about. I kind of get a gist of it, but y'all just keep on exhorting and encouraging the people in Twitch. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Now, anybody else that wants to unmute yourselves this morning, come on in here and say, come on and say something. Anybody else? This is Reclaiming the Text. Anybody in the chat that wants to say something this morning, you're welcome to do that as well. You can chat it in and I'll read your response. Anybody else that wants to unmute themselves in the actual class, any of the sojourners that want to unmute yourselves. Okay, it looks like the rest of the okay, I was trying to make sure. No, I don't want to miss anybody. Looks like the rest of the sojourners are quiet. Anybody in Twitch that wants to share something, please put it in the chat, and I'm happy to read it. And I want to once more and again welcome and say thank you to everybody in Twitch that came into this open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness. I appreciate you for being here. And I'll give it just a second to see if anyone else is commenting. All right. Nothing's shaken. I appreciate you all. This has been a great session. We'll be back next week in closed session in Institute for Higher Consciousness. Everybody, I hope those of you that said, that's me, I needed that, I needed this, you're so welcome. The one and only Keisha Key, you my one and only, come through. I appreciate everybody. We'll be back in closed session on next week. This is how we conclude. Institute for Higher Consciousness is, I see some typing going on here. I'm going to take a quick glance at that to make sure I'm not missing anyone. But Shelly Thunder, I see you typing. This will be a closed session on next week, but we're going to continue on in chapter 3 for all of the sojourners. Oh, Kim Possible 711. Listen, I'm so glad that you're here. Nothing but mad love to you, Kim Possible 711. I'm so glad that you're here. Sending you all kind of energy, all kind of love. I'm gonna holler at you, girl. And just check in on you. But listen, you are all that. But I also want you to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. We need you and we love you. Disco Daring, blessings to you. So much mad love coming to you as well. Come on, Shelly, to sum it up, people who remove themselves from your life thinking you've become selfish were not supposed to be there in the first place. Removing yourself isn't being selfish. The disconnect is necessary. It's called self-care. And I'm going to read that one more time, because that's how we're going to close this session out today. Shelly Thunder, that's my prophetess right there. And at the end of the day, she said our closing statement for this class session. To sum it up, people who remove themselves from your life thinking you've become selfish were not supposed to be there in the first place. Removing yourself isn't being selfish. The disconnect is necessary. It's called self-care. And that's the way we're going to close it today. So much mad love to you. You know how we say it. Have an amazing weekend on purpose. Thank you once more and again for coming to this open session of Institute for Higher Consciousness, and peace for